Hello, dear friends. Now, this might come as a shock to a lot of my friends who know me in the real world. I do have a little bit of a soft spot for the good old Western. Now, I have seen the Lone Ranger, and I've also seen The Quick and the Dead, which I will be reviewing soon. Now, and I've also seen Back to the Future Part 3, which can be considered a Western. Now, this one it goes back to my Mirrors and, sad to say, this one stars Donald Sutherland and Kiefer Sutherland. Now, this is Forsaken. Now, I rented this sucker on iTunes because I could not find it on Netflix. Now, this is very much a father-son story. This is pretty much a son coming back to his hometown, where basically Brian Cox has almost the run of the show. Brian Cox, I actually know from his work on X2, a couple of other movies. He pretty much has the run of the show. He basically, he wants to get rid of pretty much every farmer in the district and wants to put the railways in. He thinks it's going to be great for business, and let's just say town folk aren't really pleased about it. But all Kiefer wants to do is just make amends with his dad, who is the reverend of the town. The sheriff has left them. The townspeople want to bring out the 42 shotguns. They want to fight Brian Cox's little gang he's got developing. And pretty much Donald wants to say, guys, I've called the marshals. I want to do this by the book. And yeah. And it pretty much comes to a head when Kiefer's old flame, played by Danny Moore, he starts to reconnect with her, which pisses off her husband. He makes a deal to sell his farm because he thinks that Kiefer is after Danny. Kiefer doesn't want a heck of it. He just wants to mend his relationship with his dad, make a field, and that's it. He wants to live a quiet life. But the big nail in the coffin for Brian Cox's little gang is they start to hurt Donald. And as a parent, as a child, I should say, the parent relationship is pretty solid. They don't have a great relationship at the start. He's a bit of a son that pretty much went off, I'm guessing, would be the Civil War. It's set around about the 1700s, so I'm guessing the North versus West war of Americans versus English. I'm guessing. I don't know much about American history. If you know which war I'm referring to, please tell me in the comments. And he said he would come back, but he promised himself he would not kill. Yeah, that backfired. So he's been drifting for 10 years. He decides to come back home, wants to mend with his dad. He gets stabbed. Donald gets stabbed. And that basically flips a switch in Kiefer, and out comes the guns. Now, if you know him from 24, you know Kiefer can definitely hold himself in a fight, and with a gunfight. This is definitely, he can pretty much hold himself, and he lays waste to the game. Waste to the game. And no one is standing, except for one, who pretty much is just a high gun. But he lets him go. He wants to be a gentleman and lets him go. But because of the massive gunfight, Kiefer can't stay. But Donald pleads with him. It's really sad to see. Pretty much Donald says, "Son, stay with me. I don't want you to go." And it breaks me. But he can't risk it. He just can't risk it. So he goes. We expect in the prologue that he comes back once at the death of his beautiful Amy, I think that's her name, Danny's character. And pretty much doesn't come back again, so it's a little sad. But now, now the settings is gorgeous. It's far none gorgeous. It almost reminds me of the Magnificent Seven. And I'm actually suspecting it might be the same town because it looks identical. It's identical layout. I'm not 100% sure about that, but it looks really similar, which is hilarious if it is exactly the same ranch they used. The remake, not the original. Which I own, which my mum dragged. Well, I own. My mum owns it. She dragged me to say that. I thought it was pretty cool. Now, I will be getting this on Blu-ray. I thought it was fantastic. I did go in knowing I would love it because I've seen Donald and I've seen Kiefer. The movies I've seen Donald is The Hunger Games. I have seen him in that series. So I did go in with an open mind. I think it was and it actually was a bit of a reunion actually. The actor who plays Gentleman Dave and Kiefer were both in The Three Musketeers, the 90s version, not the 3D remake. And it's a reunion of Danny and Kiefer, who also were in A Few Good Men, which I haven't seen yet. Do you think I should? Write it down below if I should see A Few Good Men. And I do believe that Kiefer has been trying for years to work with Donald. Finally got it. And I think the wait was definitely worth it. And I can't wait to see what else comes from these two great guys. I know Donald's getting up there in years, and it'll be a shocking blow to the industry once that man goes, and I'll not be surprised if our point of Canadian love would be hitting that family like a ton of bricks, and I wouldn't be surprised. Now that's my review, and what do you think? Have you seen Forsaken? If you have, please write down below what you think of Forsaken, and I shall see you around, fellas. Ciao!